So what's exciting and new in economic development in Africa right now is Chinese investment. As China helping Africa and just getting involved in helping them build infrastructure and stuff like that. For one, I think it's great. I think it's a very exciting time. And I see the sort of mutually beneficial dynamic that's there because, China is going to need consumers for their goods and Africa needs the infrastructure and they need the development. So basically, I mean, there's an opportunity for them to both mutually benefit and just make the world a healthier, more prosperous, a better environment for both. So that's very, very exciting. But of course, there are critics of it saying that, oh, well, they're just saddling them with all this debt and doing that. And I'm not really worried about that as much in this case because, I mean, they're not also just not giving them loans. I really do like the idea better. I like the involvement better when they actually get involved in doing the infrastructure, making sure that it gets done in the places they do. Because the loans that you give them, a lot of times it's easier for it to just end up going to something else for them not to actually make use of it for the intended purpose of the loan. So I like the fact that they actually get involved more in laying down the groundwork so they make sure that they're getting out of it what they hope for, which is just the infrastructure for the people. Because when you just give money to those in the governing position, it's easier for them to, to not be responsible with it, to not do the work of really getting it where it needs to go. If you just hand them, millions of dollars or whatever, it's very easy for that to get mismanaged or, even stolen, as we have in federal government sometimes. So I think it's good that they're really, getting involved in actually laying down the infrastructure and everything. It's very exciting to see, and it's very exciting to see the sort of the communication, the dynamic between them. It seems like there's a good amount of mutual respect and understanding there, which is I really enjoy. I feel like it's different when the West gets involved with them because they have more of a history of kind of, and more of an unhealthy dynamic where it's sort of like, the West tells Africa what to do, even the Kagame, president of Rwanda, brought that up and says, he's enjoying working with China. They sort of just, they want to do business and they don't come in there and tell him what to do and tell him, try to have any sort of cultural hegemony or tell him how to run his country or how to, he says they sort of don't get involved on that level at all because, China doesn't have a history of doing that. They don't have, that's not where they're coming from. It never has been. So it's really kind of like, it allows for the dynamic to play better. Not that Europe and the US couldn't do the same thing, but the way it is, it's like relationships are very built on pattern. And old patterns, things just fall into old patterns very easily because that is how they know how to deal with one another. So I think the way that those other countries, the West, knows how to deal with Africa is different. And and those patterns, it just falls into the same patterns because that is the only way they know how to, relate. And there might also be a little bit of jealousy too. Like it might be that I don't know. I wouldn't. That's not even the issue. The point is, it's really exciting to see the way in which the interplay between the Chinese involvement in investing in Africa and stuff like that. It seems to be a very healthy dynamic, and it seems to be going well. And it seems like both sides are have an understanding and are excited about what they're getting out of it. And so criticism of that they're saddling them with debt, it's not important. They're giving them the infrastructure for their people to build on. And if that's there, then the generation that's going to be able to, to work with that is going to have something. They're going to have things to be able to manage the debt with, as opposed to if you just handed them, as opposed to, just loans in the past that were kind of doomed because they were just so easy to hog or mismanage or whatever. So yeah, just wanted to, take note of how that's a really interesting development over the last few years that I think that, both sides are probably, you're going to be really happy they're getting a lot out of. So, yeah.